Okay. Hey, Armand. How are you?
Good. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for coming on the show.
My
Appreciate it.
pleasure.
So, right off the bat, I got to ask, what is all that stuff behind you? It looks like a lot of collectibles.
It is Funko Pops. My wife and I are huge fans of Funko Pops. We never take them out of the box. We never take them out of the box. It drives me crazy when I see other people and they have them all out of the box. We have over 500 of them in the house, all different
Wow.
ones.
Okay. I don't even know what that is. What is it? A cartoon?
No, it's a collectible. It is like it is the Beanie Babies of today. So they do all different TV shows and sports and music and pretty much anybody, um, any celebrity, any entertainer probably has a Funko Pop, and they like go for like 10, $12 a piece, and
Oh, oh.
they're very smart with them. Companies out in Washington, and they will do what they call vaulting certain ones. So they stop making them, and then the value increases. So I have a lot of musicians. I have, Stephen King has several different ones, and tons of movies. Seinfeld, Marvel comics, you name it. We have tons of them. I have an entire room that's just baseball, and there's about 50 or so in there. My wife has a Wonder Woman room, and there's about 30 or 40 of the Wonder Woman ones there. She has a Disney room, which has over 100 in there. So every bedroom except for our bedroom is full of these, and then my office is full of them. In fact, in front of me are two bookshelves that are just overflowing with them as well.
Wow, that's an amazing collection. Yeah, you're right about keeping them in the box, keeping them pristine. Totally adds to the value. I know that.
Yeah, we're both huge fans of collecting things. So she has a Coca-Cola collection, and again, all of our bedrooms are themed, and the kitchen is all Coca-Cola stuff, and then in here in my office, I have a lot of collectible signed, different signed things, and whatnot, and stuff that fans have given me over the years, which is pretty neat.
Okay.
So I get just a lot of random stuff in this house, which I love. And when my in-laws come over, my father-in-law always just shakes his head at the amount of stuff we have.
So I know that, yeah, you've got to keep everything pristine. I know I saw one, it was like a Batman utility set from the 1960s that they had never opened. It was absolutely in pristine condition and it was sold for like 25 grand.
Yeah.
So with all of these, I mean, what are they worth now? Do you know?
My most expensive one that has gone up is I have a Ken Griffey Jr. baseball one that is about $750. And we have a bunch that are each over $100, and we paid $10 or $11 for them. So not all of them go up in value. We don't collect just any of them. People will give us Funko Pops all the time, like Star Wars. I'm not a Star Wars fan, so I usually give those to someone who is a Star Wars fan. But we collect more than enough other things and they go up. There's all different ones you can only buy at San Diego Comic-Con, or you can only buy at their Funko store in Everett, Washington, or in Hollywood. And so I have an app on my phone actually that keeps track of all of those and how many we have and what's the value of them right now.
Are they limited editions?
So there's a lot of them that they'll do only like a Walmart exclusive or a Target exclusive, or you can only buy them online from the Funko, website, stuff like that. But for the most part, you'll be able to get them anywhere. Pretty much any store will have a few of them, but a lot of them I've really had to research and eBay, or somebody will a friend of a friend will have a certain Wonder Woman that we need for the collection, kind of thing. So
Well, on your bio, it says that you're promoting a book. Your new book is called Shakedown. You also have a podcast.
Yeah, I do the Mando Method Podcast with co-host Chuck Buda, and we talk about writing and publishing, and we talk about the reality of writing and publishing, and we pretty much tell everyone every bad idea we've ever done, all the money we've wasted, all the dumb moves we've made, and and some of the successes as well. But we didn't want to do another podcast where every week we were bragging, and we saw a lot of those podcasts where every week it was like the hosts were like, "Yeah, I made $100,000 last week on sales." And like, who wants to see that every week? We want to see the real problems that writers go through and stuff. So it's great. It's been going on for about I think this is our 6th year of doing the podcast now, and it's just a lot of fun. We get listener questions once a month. We'll ask specific questions to us and stuff, and we'll do roundtable discussions. So we'll bring in other authors. This month we had Hank Felipe Ryan and Tosca Lee both came in talking about being New York Times bestsellers, and so it's a lot of fun, and it also helps for us to promote our own books, slip them in every now and then. My new series is called First Coast Thriller Series. First book comes out January 15th, and that's Shakedown, and I'm doing rapid release. January 15th, February 15th, and March 15th are the first 3 books, and the other 3 books will be out this year. So I'm gonna see how that works instead of just putting out 1 a year or 2 a year in that particular series.
How do you determine how many books are going to be in your series?
That's a tough one. It's kind of like I start a series and I start going, and sometimes I'll know this is a trilogy. When I was doing my Dying Day Zombie series years ago, I came up with, I was about book 5 into it, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to write Dying Days 47. And I had an idea for a cover concept of what if I had 9 books and it formed, the 9 pictures, and then it became one picture when you put all the books on a table together. So I was like, 9 books, that's the series, and I did that. My other thriller series, Dirty Deeds, book 10 just came out in December, and I decided, what, I'm going to do 12 books in this series. I have an idea to end it, and then the Dirty Deeds series, and then the First Coast Thriller series, I'm going to put a character from each into next year's series, and I'll do 6 books. So the goal right now is a 6-book story arc with these same characters in this same world, but with different main characters going forward, and see how long I can do that.
Okay, so you decide how many books are going to be in this series before you start, as opposed to just writing and then writing and writing and writing, and then once you run out of ideas, then that would be it.
I try to get it. Now there's a lot of books that I've written that were one and done because the sales weren't there, or I just wasn't feeling it. And a couple of series that maybe I could have done a second book for, but something else, the next shiny object came across. So it all really depends. I did horror for 30 years of writing horror books and horror stories, and I've always wanted to do the thriller stuff. And when Dirty Deeds was actually a Kindle Scout winner in 2015, and it came out in January of 2016. So, 6 years later, I'm still writing the thriller books, but I'm doing more of the thriller books instead of doing a lot of the horror stuff.
We've got about 5 minutes left, and I wanted to touch a little bit on publishing since you mentioned that. We get a lot of authors on this show. In fact, most of the people that come on this show are authors or filmmakers, but even the filmmakers write screenplays. So it is a writer's type of a show. What have you found to be the plus and negatives of pursuing traditional publishing versus self-publishing?
It's one of those things. I'm a hybrid, so I work with a lot of my books are small press, and then a lot of them are self-published. And a lot of times, I'll come up with a specific idea. Like, so Dirty Deeds was a Kindle Scout book. So Kindle Press runs everything, which is great because it's Amazon. So I'll get all the sales promotions. They're pushing my books. They're giving me, 16 or 17 different categories I'm in. So that's great. But they wanted one book a year. And the first book ends on a cliffhanger. And I argued with them. I said, no, let's put this second book out because the second book was already written. So basically, we just did a one and done. And then from book 2 on, I'm self-publishing those books. And I think it was a better move for me. I'm selling a lot of books because of that, because I'm putting two a year out with that. And I think it really depends on the book. There are certain books that, like this new series, I want to self-publish it. I think I'm going to do very well with it as a self-published book. But there's other books that I've either small presses have put those out, or it's a trilogy that I don't want to go through the work of the covers and the formattings and the editing and all that stuff because I have other things. The money is not unlimited where I could just keep paying for all of my books all the time, even though most of them have broke even or made good money on the other end. But I don't want to keep throwing money at that and the time to do all that as well. So I try to do a nice mix for me, and I really look at it as my time management. Do I really want to write this book and then have to go through all of the self-publishing, or can I finish it and then try to get a publisher and do that part where I can take that other time and do promotion on the books that are already out? It's kind of, I look at it like the James Patterson writing factory. Everybody's heard that the way he rams books down your throat every 4 or 5 hours.
Right.
And that's what it is. It's that mental in my head of where each book is right now. Behind me is my board. There's about 14 open projects that I'm working on right now, and I know where each of them are and which one comes next and which ones I'm writing. And I write 4 or 5 of those at a time. Each day I might write 2 or 3 books, chapters of different books. And it's just mentally knowing where that is and then knowing, do I want to try to find a publisher, or is there a specific publisher that I want to work with or I want to work with again? So I kind of look at all that even before I sit down to actually write the book.
When you start writing, can you write like on a 9-to-5 schedule? You say, okay, I'm going to get up and start writing, or do you have to get a spark? Because sometimes I know for me as a songwriter, I'll sit down at the piano, nothing, absolutely nothing comes to me. I can't do it as a 9-to-5. I have to do it when I get inspired or an idea pops into my head.
So I do a thing, I call it the Mando Method. That's where the podcast name from. So my nickname was Mando growing up. My name is actually Armando, so everybody called me Mando. And I did it as a joke one time. Jonathan Maybury says he writes for the first 45 minutes of each hour, and then the last 15 minutes he plays on Facebook. I found that I write for the first 15 minutes of an hour, and then 45 minutes I'm playing on Facebook. But in those 15 minutes, I can write 600 to 800 words. And so I do that at the top of every hour, starting at 10 a.m. So 10 and 11, I skip 12 for lunch, and then I'll do 1 and 2. So I'm writing 2,500 words a day, at least 5 days a week, doing that, what I call the Mando Method, that system. And I'm not necessarily writing the same story or the same book each time. I might write 3 or 4 different books in any given day, the next part. And I'm a total pantser. So it's, in those 45 minutes, I'll go back and I'll read what I have previously written, a chapter back or half, whatever, a couple pages. And then it kind of stews. I'll be, making a cup of coffee. I'll be, going to take a shower. I'll be reading. I'll be wandering around, but I'm thinking of what comes next in that story. And that really helps me to take those breaks, because when I sit down 9 to 5, I'm writing 1,000 words. It's very hard for me to do that. And I have kind of a regimented, my Post-it schedule. So from 9 to 10 is emails. From 10 to 10:15 is the, my first Mando Method sprint. And then I'm doing promotion, I'm doing Amazon ads, all the different things that I have to do, schedule it in. I'm doing an interview, so I schedule that block in, right on my Post-it note schedule, and cross them off as I go along. And it really helps me to focus. It really helps me to go, okay, I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to play on Twitter for the next 5 hours, because that's not on my schedule. And you could do that. You go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I do it this way, to save myself from doing that.
Well, we have to wrap this up. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. Do you have a website you want to give out?
Yeah, if you go to ArmandRosamilia.com, it is a brand new revamped website. So not everything is up there, but it's good enough. It'll take you to all of my social media. It will take you to my Amazon page, and I hope to have a lot more stuff up there in the next few weeks.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for coming on the show. It was nice meeting you.
Oh, thanks for having me. Yeah, it was great.
Best of luck with the book, which is called Shakedown, and it comes out